Hi guys, it's me, Heather, and I'm sitting here and just reflecting on the past year, reflecting on 2019, and I kind of wanted to do it on camera for you as sort of a way to tell you what's been going on in my life this past year. When I think about 2019, I think about how even though it had some really low lows, this has been one of the best years of my life. And it's kind of crazy how that happens, right? I don't know, you would think that a year that I went to the hospital for, I don't want to call it a suicide attempt because it sounds a lot more extreme than it was, but enough that they had to hold me there for observation, basically. So in a year that I experienced that, I still look at the year and think it was a good one. This was a really, really good year because it was the year that I feel like I took control of my life. I made a lot of really big choices at the end of last year, at the end of 2018. At the end of the year, it was almost like I threw a grenade at my life and completely leveled it. And this year has been all about rebuilding. And it's been hard. There were periods of depression and then things would get better and then it would go back down again. But the interesting thing, and this is something that my therapist has said, is that when you are someone who is experiencing depression and you're being treated for it, you will find that it is kind of like this roller coaster. But the sign that you are improving is that the periods of time between depressive episodes get longer and longer and longer, and then your depressive episodes are not as bad and they don't last as long. Starting with sort of the beginning of the year, my relationship with Tyler was still really new, but there was that insane, intense feeling of freshly falling in love. That's in and of itself a roller coaster, just those intense feelings. And what's interesting is that it's been over a year since we started dating and those feelings are still so strong and intense, and oh my God, I love him so much. But in January, it was still new. So dealing with that, but then also our own challenges in our own relationship and learning how to be in a relationship with a new person, because I had never been with anyone other than Gage. Gage was my first ever real relationship, high school sweetheart that turned into husband. Forgiving myself for the way things ended with my previous relationship, being open to change and adapting within a new relationship with a new person. I think it was a lot of struggle for Tyler to be with someone who was going through so much mental health challenges, so many mental health challenges. The extremity sometimes that I would go to was really startling for him, which kind of leads into February, which I mentioned in my response to my mom's passive aggressive card. In February, I got really close to ending my life, to doing something that would result in the loss of my life. And the next day, Tyler took me to the hospital, and that little bit of self-preservation in me is what made me be honest to the doctors there. Sirens, you guys, living in a city, this is what we experience. I was honest with them and they held me there. It sucked. I hated it, but it pulled me up a little bit. It pulled me out of the very depths of that dark place. I think that my relationship with Tyler is probably the highlight of 2019 for me. The other thing that has happened this year is I have progressed a lot in my work. I got a new job. I call it my big girl job. I finally got my big girl job, and I've mentioned it before. I work front desk at a natural health center. It's a very demanding job. There's a really heavy patient flow and patient demand, and demand from the providers, demand from the clinic director. It's a job where I am always pulled in a lot of different directions. I think it's one of the reasons why I've been able to not get bored of this job like I've gotten bored of other jobs, because it's finally a job that has met my abilities. And there have been times that I've gotten really frustrated and thought, oh my god, I don't want to work here anymore, but it gets better really quickly. I've never had to feel like that for a very long time, and it's usually just because I'm tired. Maybe I'm working too much, or I'm also doing a show, and so that's starting to fatigue me, or maybe just I'm having a depressive episode and that fatigues me. Just being depressed is exhausting. But I've gotten to a point where I feel really valued there, and they have never left me guessing as to whether I'm doing a good job. It's nice to get to a place where you feel like that, because there's sort of this job security there. I know that I can't just up and leave this job in a way that I have other jobs in the past, because I no longer have a husband who can support me. And that's just the hard truth of it. Is I'm so thankful that I'm not at a job that I hate every single day, that I dread going to, and I can't quit because I have to support myself. I'm at a job that values me, that cares for my health, a job that challenges me and I'm not bored with, that I can't quit, or I can't just up and quit a job, because I still do have to support myself. I've learned a lot about natural health. I think I've been healthier in general this year than I have for many years. I was able to get blood work done through my work, which told me that I have food sensitivities and allergies that I didn't know I had, that I actually get really low blood sugar. I was able to do that through my work, so I'm more aware of my health than I have been in the past. And let's talk about acting for a bit, shall we? So I did two full-on plays in 2019. I was in Jake's Women by Neil Simon in the spring. That was not my favorite show. It taught me a lot. It taught me that I need to be able to speak up to the director if I have an issue with somebody, and that I have really high expectations of my fellow actors, like learn your lines, maybe. By the time we open, you should be off book. On closing night, I should not be worried that you're not going to know your line. But that was something I experienced, and now I have learned. Also, I've learned that maybe I don't like Neil Simon very much. The next show I was in was And Miss Reardon Drinks a Little. This was a show that, it was so wonderful. I loved the process of this show. My character had mental health issues. It was almost like a release for me. Every time on stage, I got to let some of my own issues that are building up and that I can't really release in my day-to-day life, I got to let those out. And I don't think I did it in a way that was unhealthy. I think I did it in a way that was just really cathartic and actually healing, because I could sit with these feelings but put them to use. And in that way, I could release them out of me. It's like a purge. I made a really good friend from that show. I'm actually going to be having brunch with her tomorrow. Between those two shows, between Jake's Women and Reardon, though, I took a little bit of a break, and then I auditioned for a show that I really, really wanted. And I didn't get it, and that set me in a little depressive episode. But every time that happens, I learn. In Vlogmas, I talked about a therapy session where we went over my negative core beliefs, and one of them is these unrelenting standards that I have for myself. And so my standard is I audition for a show, I should get it, which is unrealistic. That's just plain full-on unrealistic. It's not, I should not have that expectation of myself, but that's the negative core belief. It's not good for me. And I have been really lucky, and I have gotten a lot of roles that I've wanted, but when I don't get one, especially one that I really want, oh, it hurts, but I'm learning how to deal with it. I'm still learning, it's a process. And I also decided that I really wanted to start getting into film and try my hand at some short films. This was also, so I'm kind of in September now. I read the book The Actor's Life by Jenna Fischer. This sent me on a big depressive spiral because I thought, oh my God, I have to move to LA, because if I want to be an actor, I have to move to LA. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And thinking I cannot upheave my life again, because I just did that in 2018. I just did it. I broke my heart and then I mended it. I completely leveled my life and I just kind of started rebuilding it. It's so new. And to think, if I want this thing, I have to ruin everything that I've built. And it was actually that friend that I made in Reardon. Her name is Ree. She is the one who told me, she gave me a lot of really good advice, and I'll get into it. Oh my God, more sirens. So she gave me a lot of good advice that if you guys are curious, you know, more curious about that whole thing that I went through, I can do a video on that. But she helped me a lot and really pulled me out of that mode. But I auditioned for quite a few short films. I even got cast in some of them, and then I learned that for short films that aren't gonna make really any money, they're student films, they might never get filmed. So I got cast in things that never got filmed. And then I got cast in something that did get filmed, and then they had to do a reshoot that I couldn't make. So they said they were gonna edit that footage and send it to me. That might never happen, which I've heard is a thing that happens too. So it's something that kind of slowed down in December. I wasn't really submitting for a lot of those short film projects, but in the new year and throughout 2020, I will be continuing to do that. Another thing that I got to do was a sort of haunted house type thing, but it was like an immersive theatrical experience where I got to be a vampire, and it was just really, it was creepy and really interactive and a lot of fun, and it paid. And not only did it pay, it paid a lot. So that was really cool. I got to experience being paid to act. That is another huge highlight of 2019. I got to be a professional actor. I feel like I can't quite call myself a professional actor right now because I'm not always getting paid to act, but I got to experience that. That was amazing. That was one of my lifelong dreams. And so now I feel like I just achieved a lifelong dream, and I'm only 28. And so I feel like I stepped it up. Ending sort of the acting portion of this video, I auditioned for a director who is also an actor who I admire so much. Her name is Hannah Logan, and I got cast. She cast me. Hannah Logan picked me to be in her show. And this has been one of the most challenging acting experiences of my life. I am learning so much, and having such a wonderful time. This cast is amazing, full of wonderful people with big, wide open hearts. 2019 was a very good year for acting, for my acting career, because if you didn't know, that is what, I was gonna say that's what I want to be. No, that's what I am. I am an actor. It makes me so happy. It fulfills me. It makes me proud of myself. It makes me want to be here. I feel like it's why I'm here. I feel like it's my purpose. And even if I never make it, I will act as long as I am capable of acting. Another big thing that I think has happened this year is something that I've realized. I have opened my mind about what it means to have a family and to be a part of a family. And I'm still working on it, coming to the conclusion that I don't have to expect anything more from my mom has been really healing for me, because I've always felt like something's missing in my life, and that's a mom. But thinking, well, I have a mom, why isn't she the way I want her to be? Realizing I cannot change her, and I cannot make her into the mother that I would want to have as a mother, and that's okay. I have chosen to stay here in San Diego, even though the reason I'm here in the first place was because Gage got stationed here. I have made more friends here in San Diego than I ever did in Folsom, than I did in Maryland. I feel so rooted here. I love it here so much. I love my apartment. I love the neighborhood I live in. I love the life that I have built for myself. And that life does not really fully include a lot of my family, which is easy for me to get sad about, but I can just be me. This is my life, and my life can be whatever I want. If I decide a year from now that I hate my life, I can change it, because I did. I did it. I did that. I did this scary thing that nearly killed me. That made me stronger. I am so much stronger than I was a year ago. I just want to live a life that is artistic and creative while also maintaining a life that is stable and secure, because I really need that right now. Maintaining and continuing to build and deepen my relationship with Tyler, my friendships here in San Diego, continuing to explore this beautiful city that I live in, and continue to root myself here because that's what I want. And realizing that what I want might change, because it has in the past, but that I can survive that. That is it. That's it for me reflecting on 2019. If you have any questions, ask them in the comments. I will probably answer them because I'm an oversharer. And if you're watching and you know me personally and you feel like, oh my God, Heather, you forgot to mention this really big, crazy thing that happened in 2019, and you feel like I'd probably be okay with you sharing it, which I probably would be because I'm an oversharer, then comment that as well. All right, you guys, thanks again for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye.